They were good. I don't know why it's not.
They were good.
Okay. Okay, here we go. Yep. All right. So I apologize about that. My whole stream got a little messed up there, but it'll be a-okay. Boys run here D2 in Zandvoort here in the Midwest F1 League. As I copy this, send it to the fellas so they can watch it later after their race is done. Let me do that, and I'll get back to the action. Times are flying in. Bam, there we go. Sometimes I'm fluent. Dusty Lusky, he's actually in the party with 11.5. Let's go interview him and see what he says about his lap. Where can I find him? Dusty!
Ayo.
Lightwork just puts in a 10-7, blows the whole entire field away there. Very impressive lap there by Lightwork. What do you think about your lap there in P3? Is that a banker? Is that all you've got? Do you think you got more in the tank? Talk to me about it.
I mean, it was a push. I mean, every lap that I do in quali is a push. I feel like there's still maybe a couple tenths to make up, but it's not a confident track, so we'll see what happens tonight.
I like the opportunistic.
Yeah, you know what? You never know what'll happen in turn 1, right? So we'll see.
Yeah, Exos Miguel is actually turned around in turn 14 as we speak. Thank you very much, Dusty. We'll get back to you momentarily. As we got EDA Palmer rounding the final corner. And let's see where he goes. He's actually going to take P2 right behind Lightwork. Just 5/10 behind him. We'll turn back on the old fastest lap. A little bit nicer. A graphic. But Alfa Romeo coming across the line. And he will go P6. I believe that's Held. Put himself up there. Up in the top of the qualifying so far. Rest of the guys on an outlap. Actually, Houdini. Let's go on board with Houdini here. It comes to the tricky and windy turns of Zandvoort. So I get my track map up here. I'm sorry, fellas, I don't got any fancy graphics like Crash McQueen. But I do have commentator's voice I'll share with you until it does not talk anymore. So as I get my track map up here, there's the sheriff, you fellas. 14 turns around Zandvoort, 2 DRS zones. You see Houdini around turn 14 of 14 here in Zandvoort. Coming across the line, former D2 driver, still D2 driver, goes P12, 1:15.3. So far, it seems like a 110 is going to put you in the elite category in this qualifying session. Speaking of elite, let's go over the drivers and constructors standings. Currently leading your driver's standings through round 7, or through round 6, I apologize, this is round 7, is Dirty War Jackson. I believe he's reserving up in Division 1 tonight. Followed by Dusty Lusky and Race Day, actually, in P3. Race Day is down there, has not set a time yet. We should go down there with Race Day and see what he's up to, as he's on Purple Sector 2. So that's 410, 367, and 348. Kind of drops off after that. Jackson Altman in P4 at 290. And Sharia Kolsa in P5. Currently in relegation, we got Hell, Katie, and Ray. That's 137, 116, and 80. P18 is EVA Godpalmer. He has 190 currently. And it's not the best look for some of those guys down there. Need to step it up a little bit to keep himself in contention for the championship. Let's go over to Constructors, as Race Day has abandoned that lap for whatever rhyme or reason. Constructors things through round 6. McLaren leads the way, followed by Aston Martin. 602 to 565 there, and actually Mercedes 1 point behind in P3 at 564. AlphaTauri with 558 and drops off by about 60 points. Ferrari 490, Williams 469, Alfa Romeo 462, Alpine 384, Haas 369, and Red Bull rounding it out at 359. I think I might have unmuted somebody. It was A-Dub. A-Dub, I am doing commentary. Yeah, I apologize. So yeah, hey, fair enough. And Spencer Strider gets supercharged, and that will be the show. Oh, what a late that is. Going over last week's results, as we try to find somebody on Hot Lap here. It seems like Race Day is still pushing, so we'll stay on board with him. Last week, NFS Lightwork won in Belgium, followed by Dirty Boy Jackson P2 and Dusty Lusky P3. VTech Express P4 there, and Helg in P5. Those are top 5 from last week. Hopefully they can continue their success this week. The boys have gotten the message in D2, and you should be able to hear me. So very delightful there. We got race day coming towards turn 11 now. The second DRS straight here in Zandvoort, all the way down to third gear and 70 miles an hour through turns 11, 12, and 13 coming up shortly. We get some nice scenes here in the Netherlands, home of Max Verstappen and a bunch of Verstappen fans. Through turn 14, the banked right-hander we all know and love. Going to cross the line. What is he going to say? It will be pull. Will it not be pull? Not be pull. PHP AlphaTauri driver. Last time I saw him, kind of dominated the field there. Jackson Altman. 111.2 from the Mercedes driver. You can see that one coming. We got times flying across the line. We got a Ferrari there. That is Hightower. Let's see where he put that Ferrari. Where? Well, he put it fifth grid. Yeah. Is it? No. Actually, no. He did put it on the fifth row. P9. I was right. Just kind of said it kind of weird. Easy ready, Joey. P8. Kind of McLaren diving in the pits. That's going to be Super Neonas, I believe. That's actually Dusty Lefty. And Alpine coming across the line. That's ex-host Miguel. He's going to dive in the pits as well. We have NFS Lightwork on an out lap. Then we got a Mercedes and a Ferrari. That's Coleslaw on a hot lap, and that is Jackson Altman, I believe, on a cooldown lap. Yeah. So going board here with Coleslaw as he's pushing to get higher than that P7 currently. Trying to get past the other driver in the party, Dusty Lefty. And we'll interview Coleslaw after he gets done rounding turn 14. Around turn 12, comes out there, throws down the throttle, and into turn 13 he goes, letting the car coast in fifth gear. And he's actually ran out of fuel, unfortunately. And will not be able to complete that flying lap. Still a little over 7 minutes left in the session. So plenty of time to get another lap. We actually got Valentine coming across the line here. And improves by almost 7/10, but still 6/10 off P13 in Houdini 1313. We got the Ferrari, that is Hightower, flying in the fifth. Happy those don't carry over to the race. We got Sui starting his flyer. We got an Alfa Romeo and a Mercedes. That's Helg on an out lap, and that's Easy Rider Yelly on an in lap. We got an Aston Martin after them. That is not to say that is a light work. Looks to be on a lightning quick lap. DRS activated, DRS all burned, and he actually improves ever so slightly, about 18 hundredths. And improves that P1 just a little bit more for safety, because 2 hands for safety when you dunk that basketball, or play with any balls for that matter. 2 hands for safety. We have a Haas, that is Valentine, very down this time. We have, that's a Grim Reaper on an out lap. We have, that is Dusty Lusky on an out lap. And we have some downtime here. Go ahead and interview the Slaw and see what he has to say about that. Shreya Coleslaw. I was watching you flyer there. You ran out of fuel. Did you know that you were going to run out of fuel?
I didn't run out of fuel. I was on the in lap.
You were? I thought you were.
Yeah, I was on an in lap. I did a hot lap, and then I was on my in lap.
Yeah. No, people are flying around here.
Yeah. A lot of stuff going on. I get it.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on. But how you feeling? You confident with that P7 currently?
I've got at least 2/10 in the tank compared to what I did in practice, so we'll see. It definitely doesn't feel as grippy in Sector 2 as it did in practice. Probably just a matter of like how much rubber's on the track. We'll see. I mean, I'm not gonna risk putting it into the wall to do it. I mean, if P7's where I end up, then that's what it is.
Well, currently that's better than Soy Loco, who just went P13, the 112.1. Thank you, Coleslaw. We'll come back to you and Dusty after qualifying is finished. Let's get ready for your final run there. So, a little insight there. A little miscommunication about the commentary there. As EDA got Palmer goes up into P3 with a 111.3. And hey, the field spread's not too bad. You got P2 to P10 all in the 111s, and outside of that, a couple of drivers just outside. Field spread's about, I'd say, a second and 8/10 with light work, second and 2/10, second and 3/10 without light work. So pretty good field spread so far. Got 3 drivers still not to set a time. Let's find somebody up on their time. Got a McLaren coming across the line as Dusty Lusky. He's actually on P2, about 3.5/10 behind FS light work up there in P1. So what a flyer there from Dusty Lusky. You might be able to get one more flyer in to wait and see. Clay is praying, formerly known as Hey It's Clay. Seen him at D1 a couple of times. DRS battery usage in P4 with 11-2 for the Alfa Romeo. Aston Martin comes across the line. And I think Sands went P6. Except Miguel actually goes P6. Takes that away from Sands. We have a Red Bull. No. Okay, Williams. It's not my time. Got Tiny on that lap. And we've got a Ferrari of Coleslaw and Hightower, both on some out laps. PWR Grim Reaper is going to be your next hot lap here. It looks like he's about 4/10 up on his time. And behind him, we're going to actually have Race Day. We'll go on the more up time there and see what he can improve. Doesn't like he's been improving too much. This doesn't look like a great lap from what I've seen the splits be so far throughout this session. But hey, I could be wrong. I was very wrong. Goes P2, just playing light work, about 10 hundredths playing light work, so I was very wrong. That was a very good lap there from the AlphaTauri driver. His teammate, Scott Palmer, got back in the session. He's going on his final flyer right now. That's the teammate of Clay's Prang. No, that's Clay's Prang going in the garage, and that's an no. Oh God, it's an Aston Martin. I can't say that. Aston Martin, as Sands goes P3. And complimenting NFS light work up there. 2 Aston Martins in the front 2 grid slots. Front 3 grid slots. I'm going crazy tonight, fellas. I got a fantasy draft. I'm too worried about that. I actually have Tiny on P14 there. 112 flat from the Time Master. Love to see that. Got Hightower up 6 seconds, or actually, not up 6 seconds. He's down 6 seconds on his time. So not a great lap here. But hey, it gives us something to watch, some eye candy. Those fellas who just like to watch. And maybe he will start his next flyer. So yeah, EDA got Palmer here on a flying lap. And speed up ever so slightly in his time. He actually have his teammate Race Day. Cut over that real quick. Going across the line. He's not going to improve by very much. We got McLaren on an in-lap. Hopefully that didn't affect got Palmer. He puts on that DRS, powers down towards the line. He's going to go P5, ever so improving. From Jackson Holevin as drivers come out of the pits for their final flying lap. Got a Mercedes coming around the final corner. Who is that going to be? But that's Easy Rider Yoey starting his flyer. We're going to Aston going in the pits. We have a Ferrari. That is sure a Coleslaw on a flyer. Up about 2/10, like he said. He can get 2/10 out of that lap. He needs to go P5 to put himself on top 5 up there with the likes of the Aston Martin's Race Day and Dusty Lesky. Both Hasses now come across the line. Tiny's going to go in the pits. Valentine, who is starting a flyer. That's an Alfa Romeo of Helg, improving by a 10.5, putting himself in P11. Tiny calls it quit in the pits. That's what I like to see. Man stuff right there. Hoorah. That is the Red Bull of PWR Grim Reaper starting his flyer. That is also Sui starting his flyer. And that is a McLaren of Dusty Lesky starting his final flyer. That's Coleslaw. No, that's not Coleslaw. That's Hightower jumping in the pits there. That's an Aston Martin now coming down. That's light work trying to improve on his pole time. We got another McLaren. Actually, Dusty Lesky's up 3/10. What's going on there? We got Super Nidas goes in the pits. We got an Alfa Romeo. People are flying around here. That's Super Nidas done in the pits, I believe. The Aston Martin Chloe did not improve, but Helg is improving. Actually, purple sector 2 for Helgen. Helgen? Helgen? I always call him Helg. Let's go with it, fellas. They got Ferrari going in the pits as Helg rounds turn 13. That's an Alpine. Let's see where that Alpine goes. Put our eyes on that side of the screen. Doesn't look like they set better time. Maybe it's just an outlap. Helg goes P10. He's going to be done for the day. Got a Red Bull coming around as qualifying is under 5 seconds left. That means it's coming to a close. Peter Green Reefer slightly up on his time. That's Shreya Coleslaw down in the pits. This qualifying has officially dropped the flag. The checkered flag. PWR Grim Reaper improves by 400. Not enough to get him improved. Actually, it might have put him up to P11 there. I'm not sure. I think we had Sui go P14. As we have a McLaren of Dusty Lusky. See if he can get pole. He actually gets rid of that time because light work 10-6. Beating the field by about 3/10 here. And that's a pretty good time, folks. That's an Alfa Romeo. Clay is praying come across the line. He's actually going to go up to P7. That's an Alpine of Exosi Miguel. And he can slightly improve. Does not improve his position. That's Altman, who's up 2/10 to the final corner. going to put him on the second row with Saiyans forever. Got an Alpine. That is Soy Loco finishing his final flyer. And he decides to abort that lap. Got Helg coming through. And don't think that's an improvement for Helg either. Qualifying might be done. Just double check if I go down towards this Red Bull. That is Grim Reaper. So we will go ahead and talk to our two drivers in the party, Shreya Coleslaw and Dusty Lusky, both in the party here and both qualifying in the top 6, actually 5 and 6. So very nice, gentlemen. What do you guys think of that? Only 4,000 separate you two from beating each other.
It's always nice to finish ahead of Coleslaw, isn't it? No, it's fine. It's a long race, so we'll see what happens.
Long race.
Yeah.
I believe that was the
Dusty
best
had,
lap Coleslaw could give. Dusty, is that the best lap you think you could give?
I was 3/10 up in my last lap, and I lost it. So I think I could have been a little bit higher, but it is what it is.
All right, well, good luck in the race, fellas. Be pumping that water through your veins. Just like Trey Young, ice in his veins, fellas. Don't do drugs, kids. Anyways, Whiteberg's going to take pole, followed by Race Day, then Jackson Altman in P3. Science Forever P4, Dusty Lusky P5, and Sharia Coleslaw in P6. Then it's EDA got Palmer, Clay is Prang, Jose Miguel, and Helg. So that's Palmer, Clay, Miguel, Helg. And that is your top 10, fellas. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I was right. Got a nice glass of water here, sipping on that tonight. Not that lean stuff you kids call from all those fake rap artists. Sipping lean. I'm sipping clean. That used to well. Very good for you kids. Well, qualifying has wrapped up. And on to the race we go here in Zandvoort. I believe it's 35 laps around this beautiful circuit that F1 just started re-racing it. And hey, you'll love to see it, fellas. You'll love to see it. It's like a short break as these drivers get their strategies ready and get on with the race. Alright, well, I've taken a break and checked the old Braves box score. Spencer Strider broke the Atlanta record tonight, striking out 16 batters in one game, upping John Smoltz' previous record from 15 to 16. So good for the rookie, as Strider, Grissom, and Michael Harris have all contributed very highly to the Braves' offense this year. So they get a win over the Rockies. And hey, 3 games from the Mets still didn't move at all during the month of July. Well, it moved, but not the end, unfortunately. So have to hope for a good September. We've got one more series against them, 3 games, so we can get within 2 and just match them step by step. Win that series, be all good for the division. If not, the Braves still get in with the wild card. And I thank you all for tuning into the stream, whether you tune in now or tune in later. Easy Rider Yoey has actually left the session, unfortunately. And let's see if we can get him back in. Sure, he has an invite. If not, I'll be told to give him one. Yeah, so I think should be okay. Drivers are ready for this race to start, and so am I. Shout out to our sponsors, Rage Energy, Ulek, Holevin, SimRacer Coin, and Track Racer. 500 race, and away we go here in Zandvoort. Yeah, I know I'm expecting remote. Thank you very much. Put it away here, so we'll just get a nice helicopter graphic here. Coming into turn 1, all the AlphaTauri's getting into it. It's like 3 wide in the back there. And what shots we have here in Zandvoort, not even looking at what drivers are moving where. Just looking at nice coloration in this game. Actually showing the realistic graphics. So you have, wow, a lot of changing positions back. You have Ferrari on the half. We're moving around left, right, and center. They're actually going to keep battling after the banked hairpin of 3. And up to the corners we go. Easy Rider Yoey has got back, and so hopefully he can take control of his car. So we go back up towards the front. And we'll turn on those graphics for everybody to see. So it looks like everybody got a good jump on the old Easy Rider Yoey. Actually, he's up to 3 spots. Oh, wow. Oh, the AlphaTauri's are battling back here. Go on that battle. And, oh, looks like Easy Rider Yoey. What's that going on, fellas? Throwing the tires very quickly as we come through the banked hairpin of turn 14. For 36 times here in Zandvoort. I was off just by 1. And hey, everybody's still in DRS. Very tightly contested division. So for a close battle on track, it's actually Exos and Miguel and Sharia Coleslaw. Keep it clean, boys. Keep it tight. Keep it nice. And Super Nina's actually in the pit lane already. 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Very unfortunate there from Super Ninas. So you can see what tires Phil started. I believe Nina started on the mediums, goes to the softs. About half the field on mediums, the other half on hards. And a couple guys chose to go on the old soft compound tire. We got train forming between P3 all the way down to P9 and P10 all the way down to P7. Oh my goodness! Coleslaw spun, gets collected by PWR from Reefer, and he's out of the session. No safety car, no regard, as we see JC spin very stylishly out of that. Yeah, Coleslaw dead on the track, dead corpse, and that's not the way he wanted that to go. As it looks like Soy Logo was spun as well. What is going on back there? Hightower and Sui going side by side. There's finally a VSC out for all this chaos. DRS has been enabled. Feels Miguel going in the pits. See if I can get an interview with Coleslaw here as we go ahead and unmute the Slaw, who got slaughtered. What happened there? Looks like just lost it, now collected by Grim Reaper.
I almost rear-ended, got Palmer, had to slam the brakes on, and we were already in the corner when that was happening, so the rear end started to slide, and then Jose Miguel was really close to me too, and so he hit me. I didn't think he hit me hard enough to do that much damage, but it is what it is. It's just, I mean, it's very unfortunate, but those things happen.
Very unfortunate indeed. Safety car is out on the track currently. Missed that part. That was a VSC, but I guess the safety car did end up coming out. As some of these guys have pit, fresh hearts and fresh mediums. What would you do if you were still in the race here, Coleslaw?
I mean, if I'm still in the race, I'm keeping going. The softs actually feel great for a lot longer than you'd expect. In practice sessions, I was able to take them like 12 to 13 laps, because even on 70% wear, they still had no drop-off in grip. So you can do an easy one-stop, soft to hard, if that's what you, if that's your prerogative. So I think it's still way too early, obviously, to stop and do anything. The hards will last about 28 laps, is what the game says. You could probably push them a little bit longer, but they're already slower. So
yeah, it looks like that top 7-year-old dummying each other in the pits, but not very well because somebody fell for it. Don't think anybody outside the bottom 4 pit for a new set of tires, which is understandable.
Yeah. I mean, I can. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna play race engineer for some people or something, I guess. So we'll
Could
see.
race engineer for our good pal Dusty Lusky's on the race in there, P4.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
next week, round 8. Where are we? I have to look.
Monza.
Monza, yeah, that's why, because Crash was talking about that last week. Are you excited for Monza next week? Do you think you got the good old pace to keep up in Monza?
Historically, yeah, we'll see. I mean, D2 is quick. A lot of quick dudes in here. So I
Yeah.
mean, I love the track. It's fun to drive. It's a lot of fun in this game. We'll I mean, I feel confident, but we'll see. I mean, I don't feel as confident as I would have if I haven't DNF the last 2 weeks, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, fair enough. Very unfortunate DNF tonight. I'll let you go ahead and race engineer for Dusty or whoever else you'd like to race engineer for. I think Jin is doing D1, if I'm not mistaken. You can pop over to his Twitch and see how that's popping off. That's your cup of tea. So thank you, Coleslaw, for doing this. Didn't work out for that long, but hey, sometimes you just bite the dust.
Yep.
Thank you, thank you. Get back to the old commentary here. These boys still under safety car and doing their own thing. Still trying to dummy each other in the pits. Doesn't appear to be the best show here. Super Nance actually retired under safety car. That is out of turn, I believe, 8. Going into turn 9. So, very peculiar place to lose it. Not really sure what's going on there. But hey, we move. As the kids say, screw it, we ball. Might say a little more explicit or provocative words there. But hey, you don't know. As I was saying before, sponsors of this league, because I cannot remember them for the first time in the history of casting. It's awesome. As I go down here to the sponsors tab to make sure I click every single one of them. No, EPOS headsets. Holevin, Raise Energy, and Simmer Score are 4 sponsors of the Midwest FW1 League. Use our links, use our code MWF1 for 15% off checkout at raiseenergy.com. And Simmer Score, proud sponsor. EPOS, great headsets. I know Craft is one. I'd like to get one someday. And hey, more things to come for the good old MWF1 League. That's Mike filling in for Crash and Hotspot, both unable to commentate. So, Utility Man, Shelly, Swiss Army Knife, some may say. So, we actually got the Alpine kind of holding up. See if go here. Yeah, I'm coming in. Coming in clutch. Like Dane Lord. Team putting the OKC to sleep. These guys still trying to dummy each other in. And Altman. Not going to work, bud. Not going to work. Not going to work. Work. That's on. I think that's by Joy Mariana, if I remember correctly. Any questions you want to put in the chat there if anybody's watching from Div 2? Be my guest. As hey, Cisco period isn't the most entertaining period. I guess we take this moment to ask Dusty Lusky some questions. He is still in the race. Dusty Lusky, can you hear me?
I can, yep.
Yep. So unfortunate there for your running mate, Chuck Holsaw. Although a different team, strong friendship there. Now he's out of the race due to unfortunate circumstances. How are you feeling right now?
A little, to be honest, a little nervous. I know race day is quick. He's definitely quicker than me, and he loves that little green button. So we'll see what happens here. But I'm just gonna try and hold him off as long as I can, and then I conserve as much ERS, and then hopefully it pays off in the end. But like I said, we still got 30 laps left, right? So it's a long race, and yeah, go from there.
Yeah, long race indeed. Safeguard is in this lap, so I'll let you get back to that. And after the stream, you can press my little green box if you're interested. Thank you, Dusty. And we'll get back to it later on in the stream. So, unfortunately, now it makes you limit your gas pedal. So Lightwork is not even touching it. Well, now he is. But I couldn't touch it the first part of turn 12 there. And hey, he is going to weave and wive and dive and dine all these cards up to the line. Let's see when he goes. Oh, breaks a little bit there. Interesting. Take that on his tail. He's gone. Holevin does catch him very nicely. And so does Saiyans Forever. They're going to go down to turn 1. Jackson Ono for an opportunistic move around the outside in turn 1. They're wheel to wheel on the exit curve as Ultimate. He's not going to give up that easily. He has to concede the position, unfortunately. And now they're neck and nose to tail. Dusty defending from Race Day very well. And now Race Day is under pressure from his teammate Got Palmer in the back half of the field. Tiny looking on for a move on Valentine. Teammate crime happening between AlphaTauri and Haas. Let's go back into the front. Race Day all over the back of Dusty Lusky. As we see JST give past Toy Loco down there for P15. Remember, in the Midwest League, all finishers get points. They love to see it. As they come through the sweeping turns of 8, 9, and 10. Such a beautiful track Zandvoort is, but hard to be consistent at. Very easy. Some of these curves can just spit you out. I have not experimented too much, but I remember last game. And what I've heard from the drivers, it is not the best experience. Easy Rider Yoey looked for a move there on the Red Bull Grim Reaper. Looks like he outbroke himself, and Valentine's going to say, hey, I'm going to take that spot. Up in the P9, Valentine goes. We're going back up to the top of the field here. Looks like we have Clay looking for a move on God Palmer on board. And we'll come back out. Looks like Clay trying to maybe get a switchback move going. Actually get Tiny on Easy Rider Yoey going through turn 1. They're side by side. They're still side by side. Turn 1 through turn 2 and through turn 3 we go. Looks like Easy Rider Yoey's won it for now. Power uphill and the sweeping left, right, 4 through 6. Beautiful track. Clay all over the back of God Palmer still. As Lightwork Altman and Saiyans Forever, they pulled away from Dusty. Already broke DRS. But Dusty doesn't have his work cut out for him. He wants to get back in that fight. And you have to wait and see what happens there. Also looks like Grim Reaper's falling out of Clay. So another train forming there. See the close battle on track right now. I think we're pretty much on it. As Jose Miguel made a mistake, or a major mistake. I got passed by Sui and lost a major amount of time. I believe that was right before turn 10. You got to turn down, you got a little bit loose. Have to see his POV on that one. But coming down the main straight, we're actually going board with Race Day here. He's going to make an opportunistic move. Already used almost 80% of his battery compared to Dusty Lusky. Dusty Lusky. Still at about 70%. And they're going to go nose to tail through 2 and into the banked hairpin of 3. Such a beautiful track. Zandvoort, I know I keep saying that, but hey, never underestimate a track's beauty. Could get more Jettas. And hey, street circuits are not fun, in my opinion. Up here for the lead battle action. Come back down here with God Palmer within a 10th and a half with Dusty Lusky. Can both AlphaTauris make a move on the same lap on the same McLaren? Wait and see here in the MWF1 League. Round in turn 10 now. And the power down turn 11. DRS open for both drivers. Dusty's not burning. Neither is EDA. God Palmer seems to be having a little bit less front wing. They come through. Looks like Toy Lucas lost it. I believe that is out of turn 10. And coming down there very shortly. So he has gotten moving. Not sure if he's missing any front wings there. But only time will tell. Comes down. Looks like he's all good. I just have to keep powering through. Hoping for a safety car at some point. As, hey, Ultimate is hanging out with Lightwork here for 1 and 2. But Saiyans and Race Day pulling away from God Palmer. And, hey, Palmer, Lusty, and Clay, they're pulling away from Reaper. All the way down to Hightower. There's a train there. Got another yellow flag. I think that's a slow Suey. From Hightower to actually Jose Miguel, there's another train. So that's 4 or 5 trains have formed so far. And a lot of pack racing here, folks. Lap 10 of 36. Not even a third of the way through. It's some incredible action here in the MWF1 League. Close racing as always. No matter what division you go to. Maybe cleaner in the higher division. Maybe more daring overtakes. But hey, it all counts the same at the end of the day. Championship, what these gentlemen want. Looks like Valentine's tune up for a move into turn 11. Does not make one happen there. To wait another lap. Actually, Easy Rider always over the back of Valentine. They power out of 12. Into 13. They go. Lightwork says dog in the pits off those softs. With goals also said Ace Soft's hard is very valuable. That's what we see there from Lightwork throwing on the hards. Take those the rest of the way. Now fall all the way down to P16. So very tight field spread. Actually, going to battle with Sui out of the pits. I want to go back down to that. Seems very, very entertaining. Sui's beat him by a good margin there. Sui even have a wing? Yeah, he does. Back to the top here, actually got Valentine all over the back of Grim Reaper as they battle to the sweeping left-hander up turn 7 through 8. Actually, we got Clay is praying is around. He parked it. Do not pull me on SD Smith in Monaco. Very good there, Clay. On P6, Clay spun. Very unfortunate there. Excuse me, let's take a drink of water. Thank you, gentlemen, for your patience tonight. Jackson Moment in the pits, throwing on a fresh set of hard tires, and Race Day's almost burned his whole battery here. Not a very easy track to get battery back at. See where Ulek comes out in comparison to Lightwork. Looks like he's going to come out right in the battle between Lightwork and D Sui. Just behind it he comes, and he's going to have to get past Sui quicker than later on those cold hards. Today, lap 12, we're about a third of the way through so far. Or at the end of this lap, we will be Saiyans raised from Race Day and Palmer, and a gap to Lefty and a gap to Reefer. And then the train is behind Reefer. Wait, it's a P10, that's a half sandwich. In between is a Mercedes, who Easy Rider Yoey looking up the inside of Valentine at the DRS. Now, ERS activated, both drivers have burned a lot so far, but Easy Rider Yoey's going to have more to play with. Down to turn 11 they go, and hey, Valentine is going to keep the position for one more day. Stand board here with Easy Rider Yoey. Takes into fourth here, pounds down the throttle. A little bit earlier than Valentine. Probably at the same time. But he's burned ERS down the whole banked left-hander or right-hander. And down to turn 1. Is he going to look to make a late lunge on Valentine? Unfortunately, no. Back here we got Hightower and overtaken by Jose Miguel down to turn 1. And that's another battle we'll have to keep an eye on. For P10. P10. Oh, yeah. Still Easy Rider Yoey over the back. Actually, no. Valentine over the back of PWR Grim Reaper, building a gap to Dusty. It's like Valentine is quicker than Grim Reaper at the moment. Just can't seem to pass him. Seems in sectors 2 and 3, Reaper pulls away and falls non-victim Valentine, and Valentine falls victim to Easy Rider Yoey. Out of turn 10 this time, will Easy Rider Yoey have enough of a run to get Valentine? Neither one of them burning any battery. Just sticking in that train. Actually got back here. He got held. Did not make a move. Was very close though. Yeah, I think you need more than a tenth and a half to make a move around Zandvoort. You know, it gets exciting, fellas. So I'll have to wait and see. Coming across the start-finish line now. That is Saiyans leads from Race Day from Palmer, and that's Dusty and Grim Reaper. That's your top 5. Grim Reaper's under some pressure here. About P. Oh my goodness, that's a murder. That's tiny on Easy Rider Yoey, just spins him going into turn 1. And that's Jose Miguel that's retired. And that's off of... Oh my gosh, Hightower is out now. Looks like they were trying to avoid some incident there with Easy Rider Yoey. We'll go on board here with Clay is praying. That's another full safety car. And Hightower, Jose Miguel, both out of this race. Oh, and if it's light work, 5-second penalty for speeding or ignoring yellow flag. Wow, that is a penalty that will get removed for the stewards. I hope. That is a very outrageous penalty given by the game there. But unfortunate circumstances there. I tried to get back down to he's rather Joey. He's actually down there with P15 currently. So I'm thinking that Exos Miguel tried to avoid him or Hightower, or maybe they were battling and they both went the same way, or I'm not sure. To wait for the replay on that. Sure, Stewart's port will be in order. But hey, all these Memes guys are going to come in and pit. And I think Dusty Lusty's going to rejoice there. Actually, I'm going to get on thing with radio with him now. Dusty Lusky, on the radio with you in the pit lane. Actually, the AlphaTauri is going to double stack in front of you. You think you'll be able to get out in front of Palmer? Let's see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. No, he had too much of a lead ahead of me. Those guys they're quick, man. It's hard to keep them behind, so just be patient and see what happens.
That's now Altman and Lightwork get ahead of you as well. Now the pits there. Lightwork received a very interesting penalty from the game. 5 seconds for speeding under yellow flags. Who is that was around? Is that called Palmer?
That was Palmer.
Under a safety car. Out of turn 3, ruining his wing. He's got the pit. Very unfortunate.
Did he lose his wing?
Seems so he's nose first. No, it looks like he's got his whole wing attack. That is interesting. And race day! What happened to race? No, well, never mind.
What is happening right now?
It's all the other night in Jeddah, in different league. Just get like a bunch of your weekly overtaking penalties.
Who didn't come in? Who's in first right now?
Sands. Sands forever in first. Lightwork and Altman came in about 4 laps ago. So it's Sands to race day to Lightwork to Altman. Lightwork on 4 laps and Altman on 3 laps. Both Sands and race day fresh hards. And yeah, you got your work cut out for you there. But hey, Dusty, we'll keep you in the loop, and I'll tell you anything I see from a bird's eye point of view.
I need that helicopter view.
Yeah, we are on it. Yeah, race day does like his little button there. Do you like my little
man,
button?
He loves that little green button.
Do you like my little green button?
I don't know. You show it to me, and I'll let you know if it's any good.
Well, fair enough. Speaking of green buttons, that's one that EDA got Palmer to have to press in the pits. Now when he got those hearts, actually he has softs ready for him. That's gotta be a mistake. But actually, he can't go to mediums. He just pit off them. So, guess that is a correct move there. Hopefully another safety car for the lad there. Down there in P16. Dreadful day. Who do you think your biggest threat on track is right now, Mr. Dusty?
What was that, sorry?
Who do you think your biggest threat on track right now is?
I think Grim Reaper's going to be quick on those mediums, but we'll see. But I'm going to try and push Jackson and Lucas as hard as I can here, or Jackson and Lightwork as hard as I can.
Yep, yeah. How are tire temps around here in Zandvoort?
I'm running no pressure, so my tire temperatures are fine.
That's what I mean.
They didn't, like, the mediums didn't feel bad before I pit for the hards, right? So I would have kept going.
Yeah, that's it. You end up kicked out of the party for a network issue. Unfortunate there. Well, safety car being this lap, well, that means I put you back on mute and go make fun of more people for spinning and crashing. Thank you, Dusty. We'll be back later. And folks, lap 16 of 36. You're seeing history. Almost halfway through. Been a very exciting race so far. What's even more exciting, my fantasy football draft at 11 o'clock tonight. So interviews might not happen, but hey, that's okay. So I'm going to D2 streaming for these D2 guys. And you love to see it. Let's see when Sand says let's go. He says let's go. Very early. You need to burn more ERS than that. I need to get back on this battle back here with Altman. Altman and Lightwork in turn 1 going side by side. That's Tiny on Valentine. Haas on Haas Prime. And that's EDA got Palmer making a move on Suey on the inside. Battling left, right, and center. Down into turn 2. Palmer's got that move down and come back up here. Sand almost pulled a second gap so far on Lightwork. But hey, Altman not only get raced, they get away from him. Soy may have had a peek at JC there. After the fast right-hander of 8. To come through the 9 and 10 complex. Very interesting set of corners. I guess 8, 9, 10 complex. All part of the same complex there. Yeah, Race Day and Jackson Allman both burning that battery. Trying to get ahead of each other and vie for that final podium spot tonight. Actually, Clay is playing back here, praying on this guy's downfall. Dini going forward with Clay. He can ascend it. He covers off the outside like a true gentleman. And Clay's going to go for a orthodox switchback. I'm joking. It wasn't much of a switchback. But it's alright there. Go back up here to Race Day. So close battle up here in the top half of the field. Speaking of the field, Palmer's not moving through this field as fast as I thought he would to get back up to where he was. You don't need a safety car. He's got the pit still. Doesn't look like a good night for Palmer. But let's see what happens there. So we'll certainly get fast as well for the race. No, you get 1% of the softs, maybe not fast as laps in races, but see, he's actually over the back of Easy Rider Yowie. And into 10. Just got the grip advantage. And they're going to touch. And oh my goodness. That's Easy Rider Yowie and Palmer both on a wing. That's got to be a VSC or something, fellas. The 2-car incident. Yeah, that is all on EDA got Palmer. Just didn't leave Easy Rider Yowie enough room, in my opinion. But hey, that's just me. They're going to have to carry on with this race. That's why we'll go around through the fast right-hander of 14. That's a banked right-hander. And be careful because ghosting is not on in the Midwest F1 League. You see Easy Rider Yowie go through the banked right-hander. That's going to pit turn, get some repairs along with Palmer and Soy. So they're going to hope for another safety car. Easy Rider Yowie, insult to injury, 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. Unfortunate news there. Got a race there. Oh, he's back on light work. After Sayers has pulled a gap from light work outside of DRS. Aston Martin looking very quick tonight here in another one. But hey, who doesn't like some trivia? Let's have a good old Netherlands fun fact. Let's see. Just gotta go on here. More sheep than people live in the Wadden island of Texel. Amsterdam is built entirely on piles and has 1,200 bridges. The Netherlands has the highest museum density in the world. Dutch people eat an average of 14.3 kilos of cheese per person per year. Well, thank you very much, the Holland website. Some very, very interesting things there. Hey, you'll love to see it. Yellow fire. That's the way we'll go around on those cold softs. Unfortunately, they're battling throughout the streets of Zandvoort. Top pack now coming on together, all within DRS of each other. But DRS is enabled next lap. Actually, enabled this lap. I'm getting my laps confused. Actually, I got Clay very close to the Williams of Houdini. Clay's going to throw in that DRS. Houdini's going to throw in that ERS. DRS and ERS combination. As Clay is sent down the inside, he will not send it down the inside. We got 2 Alfa Romeos battling behind us, Clay and Helg. And go back up to the top part of the field as they round the final turn. And they're going to keep her going. Lightwork hanging on for dear life to his teammate Sands. And Race Day's hanging on for dear life from Lightwork. Jackson Allman maybe getting a bit of a run on Race Day out of 14. They both have expended their whole battery. Race Day's top to over 60% for both of them. Race Day and Allman both under 20%. Valentine and Houdini battling back here through 1, 2, and now 3. Houdini doing a very good defensive job, but checks up like Valentine there. I apologize, and I don't think Valentine's gonna like that move very much. Hopefully no wing damage there for the Haas. As it's dropping a little bit through this middle sector. It looks like Clay is all over the back of Valentine, preying on Valentine's downfall. They round through 8, 9, and soon to be 10. I think Valentine has recovered nicely. Let's see how this turns out. He's over the back of Valentine once more. DRS activated. And no DRS being burned from either driver. Neither one wants to make a move into 11, unfortunately. And they will all single file for another lap to go. Come back into the top here. Lightwork still in the DRS, and Raceway still in the DRS, and Altman still in the DRS. Did Lusky get the DRS? He did not. So the odd man out. Greenford burned all of his battery to keep up with Dusty Lusky. Dusty only has 33%. And coming through Zandvoort. Through 3 and through 4 and through 5 and through 6 and through 7. They will go to turn 7 on. Surprised not seeing too many people cutting that curve more. Used to be able to cut it a lot in the last game. Through 8. There you go, into 9 and into 10. Beautiful circuit here in Zandvoort. I've said it many times tonight. I just love how the curbs are... Oh, we got spin! That is the Haas of Tiny. Around, I believe that's the second spin of the night for Tiny. Unfortunately. So, pick yourself up there, young chap. See Radio actually all over the back of Cop Homer through 3. A little battle back here for P14. So show these guys back here some love. They're 43 seconds behind the field. Or 43 seconds behind Tiny, who is 7 seconds behind the field. So, unfortunate news there. Looking around, that Clay on Valentine got a spin. That's Tiny again. That is the second spin for sure. It's Clay trying to make a move through 1. Valentine trying to close the door. It looks like Clay's going to have the move done, but through 2 and 3, they're still battling. Clay takes a very opportunistic line. Actually, I think he hit Valentine. He did. He hit Suey, and they're both parked in 3. I don't think Valentine's going to like that very much. Very much on the fault of Clay from the broadcaster's perspective. And it's going to put Valentine down there with P12 and Suey without a wing once again. I believe that's the second time Suey. It's not a wing. Oh, no, he does have a wing. He's got to turn around. Oh, my goodness! Suey around very quickly. Get off the racing line. That's another spot for Valentine there. Suey's got those hot, hot tires. Suey's hot tires and massage. Have to wait for those to cool it down. Meanwhile, top 4 still in DRS. But Dusty is falling out 2.5 seconds to these top 4. Now is under pressure from Grim Reaper coming down the main straightaway. That is JC around. Actually, that's Stewie around for the 3rd time this lap, and for the 3rd of 3.5 times. But we'll stay on board here with Grim Reaper. Has a good chance again. Dusty here just maintain the pace with him. It's time to get back Stewie for P11. But Suiga's going to get him back, actually, into 11. Those cars were around the track. They're trying to get past Suiga again before turn 13. They're battling hard down there. Looks like Suiga is struggling a little bit as he is falling back. Grim Reaper has the DRS as Suey retires and pits, calls it a day. About 65% of the way through the race. A little bit over that at this point. So we're going with here in the Div 2 broadcast booth. Actually, Clay's very close to Houdini. We'll go on board with Clay here. They come through a fast race. And let's hope that... Actually, Altman overtaken by race day there. Let's hope that the car coming out the pits will not get involved. Anybody's way, parking off to the side there. So hopefully no side-by-side action there. Apologies, I got a little bit distracted. But Altman still over the back. Looks like an Alpha Romeo may have spun. Maybe that's just a thing. What a move by Clay! Oh my goodness! Switchback of dreams. Oh, wow. Making contact is Houdini. Through it they go. Clay's got the place, but a very angry Houdini there. And couldn't make a magic rabbit up here. But now Helg, the teammate of Clay, it's all over Houdini. They just bang wheels. And bangs Houdini out of the way. Houdini's not even happy about that one at all. And that was some beef with the Alpha Melee team. And maybe he can get back on this DRS straight. Actually, he is. Or no. He does have it. It didn't pop up. Unfortunately. Aston Martin's now broken DRS to race day, and that is tiny around. That is a VSC, and that is out of T number 9. So while there's VSC, I'm gonna go grab some more water because usually I do that when Crash is talking. So I apologize, D2 fellas. I'm gonna be quiet here for 1 second. I'll stay on board here with Jackson Allman. Got Houdini getting past Helg. Helg's gonna put it around the outside. Trying to get that move back. Easy Radio and Soy battling down there for P14. Helg's gonna keep that spot for now. There's a yellow flag in Sector 1, but not sure what that was for. With the VSC, Race Day has gotten back into DRS. The other two Astons up front. And they're Aston quick. Ha! Stinking quick. Yeah, fair enough, fellas. Houdini still on the back of Helg, who is not going to DRS out of turn 10. Maybe Houdini can get a little bit closer, but it looks like JC is looking to make a move if anything. Yeah, Houdini's not even going to get DRS, and that's interesting for Tiny. Yeah, Houdini didn't get DRS. Very interesting. There. Back up front, Saiyans and Lightwork still command the lead, and Race State burning all of his ERS to keep up with these guys. Just he's out of it now. Maybe all might come up like a lion poised to strike. Maybe Dusty sitting in the wings. Maybe he should voice more ERS. Get back in this thing. Maybe we can interview Dusty mid-race back on the straight. Get to him momentarily. Closest battle on track is going to be JC and Houdini. And they're going to be coming through turn 3 now. They're going to power up a hill through the Volcanka 4 and through the right-hander 5. I want people to take more curve up into 6, 7, and 8. Triple apex of a corner there. You'll love to see it. I've been calling that turn 8 all night. It's turn 6 and 7. So I apologize. But you guys get the gist. Yeah, got Palmer down there with PO12. Takes the fastest lap currently with a 1:11.9. Valentine, Palmer, Tiny, Ryder, Yoey, and Soy Loco all put on a fresh set of softs under that VSC. As the Red Bull and the Williams battle at the long banked right-hander of turn 14. And look at moves that they made this time around. But I see Dusty's kind of in a place now. Maybe Dusty could talk for a little bit. Hey, Dusty, if you can't talk, great. If you can't, you can't.
Full push, full push.
There you go, Dusty. As he says, full push on his radio, chasing down those leaders. So, very nicely defeated there. Back up front, Lightwork still in the DRS, but Racing's gotten back into it and along his Altman. All in that DRS train. Looks like Easy Rider really has been lacked that top four. So, hey, shout out. These guys will be extra quick on lap 30. Up 36. So still two Athens dominating up here. Followed by Race Day. Now Altman has dropped out of that DRS window. Dusty trying to get back, but just doesn't seem to have the pace to compete with these top four tonight. Just a little bit out of it, but hey, points are points here in the MWF1 League. Close battle besides this is JC Houdini, but as we see, JC is very slow for the middle sector, Houdini is very quick, so the downforce switchers, the downforce fellas. Okay, Lightwork has an extreme amount of ERS versus Saiyans, and he's just looking for a move to happen. Saiyan is not going to get DRS from this laps car. Oh, tiny. And they're going to come down the front straight. Lightwork, he's not going to burn anything. He's just going to catch up to his teammate. And Race Day is now part of this battle. Keeping up the two Assassins for the first time tonight. No ERS. Available Altman is now falling out of that without any ERS available for him, but still respectable drive right now in P4. Stay on board with these guys up here. Yeah, Fortune Jackson only caught that lapped car of Tiny in a very awkward time. Don't think he was impeded at all, but hey, he's back in that DRS train as well. Top four all battling for position. So it dips and dives. Another one's we go on the lap of 32. Keep in mind, Lightwork has a 5-second time penalty that should be removed by the stewards. We'll have to wait and see. That is EDA got Palmer around. And that's a little piece of wing on the track for these leaders. Hopefully that doesn't cause a puncture or anything. His whole wing is gone. I'm going to catch up to him very quickly. See him going board stay and see if we can see on that wing. You can't see on the left side of that track. Looks like he's going to run over here. But hopefully nobody runs over that in general. It just seems like Lightwork is closing it ever so fast on Race Day, or Race Day is closing on Lightwork, and Lightwork's closing on Saiyans. Gonna burn some more ERS, fellas. This is a banked right-hander. One of the final few times here tonight, and the Lightwork not even burning yet. Needs to start burning some more. Paul Palmer's out of the session in the pits. Not very good. Is Race Day gonna look for a move here? Almost. Very close battle up there between the Aston and the AlphaTauri. Seems to be the two dominant structures tonight. Unfortunate for Palmer's early incident. Within 2/10 now is the Lightwork of Saiyans, and 2/10 is Race Day within a Lightwork. top 3, all within 6/10 roughly. They coming through the sweeping turns of the Netherlands. Circuit influence. Just about 4/10 back with DRS is going to be opened here. No DRS being applied. Going to get some moves in to come on the straightaway. Move is going to come. Through the banked right-hander of 14 for another time. Now that ERS is going to be activated, throwing on that DRS. He's catching up to his teammate ever so quickly. Besides needs. And shout and let it all out. And Clay is coming very quickly on Grim Reaper. You can't do anything. It's still battling very quickly. Race, a little bit of a moment. Nice save there from the AlphaTauri. And 14 guys still in the race, 60 in F so far. As we're on third to final lap. Here, lap 34, then 35, lap 36. Going here to Clay, closest battle on track. They're keeping it close, within 2/10 the middle sector. He's trying to get past Grim Reaper with every toe in his body. It looks like Grim Reaper may have gone wide there. This will be the closest we've seen anybody coming out of turn 10 tonight with that DRS. He looked for a late move there, thought about it, thinks better of it. Come back up here to light work on Saiyans. This is going to be the first time we see Saiyans lose the lead in a while. It is. He's going to breeze past his teammate into turn 1. The accents change for the leader there. Now, Lightwork leads from Saiyan from race day. We saw that move coming for a while there. You got Clay back here, and he's already passed that DRS trap. And the penultimate lap we are on, they come through the fast right-hander of 7 one more time. 6, 7, 8. This little complex is always very fun to drive. If you get it right, it is perfection. So we just see these glorious Astons and AlphaTauris. Been nose to tail all night between each other, but right now 10% for race day, under 10% for Saiyans, and around 50% for light work for battery. And all his chances of holding on to this race lead. And that 5-second penalty was for ignoring yellow flags, or speeding under yellow flags, or something like that. Under a safety car VSC early on in the race. I believe that's going to get removed. He comes around to start the final lap out of the bank's right-hander. He's going to deploy that ERS. It's down towards the start finish line. Race them actually have a move here on Saiyans into turn 1. He's actually going to send it very late. And then we're going to battle nose to tail. It looks like Saiyans just going to ever edge out race day. The race day has a little bit of battery left, trying to get back into the hairpin of 3. And Saiyans going to hold on there, almost out of DRS from his teammate Lightwork. He's going to have to tell Lightwork, hey, hold up, I need your help here, buddy. I got race day on my bootay. Yeah, he's actually going to try to make a move through 6 and 7. Looks like that for a moment, but thought better of that. And I'm happy he thought better of that. That's a business decision, folks. Don't want to DNF your way out of this race. Looks like Lightwork has the lead under control. But I don't think these guys are in a party, unfortunately. So I don't think Saiyans going to get this DRS down the front straight or down this DRS zone. He's going to have to deploy some DRS now. So Slade in race day, you need to stay there for the front straight. You need a place to overtake. Coming through 12 for the final time now. We have Aston, AlphaTauri, Mercedes, McLaren. What we've all seen this before the entire race. It was like Lightwork's going to come on the final turn. Fast right-hand bank. He's going to win this race after the penalties were removed by the stewards. And coming to the line, it looks like we're going to have Saiyans. And to finish P2 and race day P3. Altman comes home P4 and Dusty Lusky rounding it out in P5. Again, I know the order was a little bit funky, but that 5 seconds should get removed from Lightwork's finishing time. Easy Rider Yowie 12th, Tiny 13th. Those are some of the lapped cars. Actually, we got a battle to the line. Wow, Clay and Grim Reaper with in half of a tenth, 5/100ths coming to the line. And they're going to finish 6th and 7th respectively. Helg 8th. Here comes Houdini to the line, finishing in 9th. JC in 10th. And Valentine's going to round out the field in 11th. So we will finish as P14. And maybe Valentine going for a little bit of a fastest lap here. See if I can get the top 3 in for a interview. With you guys for the interviews. Final time. NFL Network's going to win your race. Sands in second, and Race Day in third. Altman in fourth, and Dusty in fifth. Ryan Green with your sixth. Clay seventh. Helg eighth. Houdini ninth. JC 10th. And then Dow, Ryder, Yoey, Tiny, Soy Loco, rounding out your finishers. Palmer, Suey, Hightower, Holevin, Miguel, Super Nest, and Coleslaw, all D and F. See if I can make a party with these fellas. Get them in for a slight interview. And we'll move on. Get them in there for a little bit of an interview. If not, then oh well. I think we are going to get Sayans in. And got thumbs up from Lucas Bertucci. Both Aston's going to come in. And we also got Race Day in here. Hello, fellas. Hello, fellas. We'll wait for Bertucci to get in here. And we'll get started. Actually, we can get started before Bertucci gets in here. Race Day. Could you unmute your mic real quick? Make sure I can hear you. Race Day.
I'm here.
Okay. Well, we'll start with Sands since Race Day is not here. Sands, talk us through your race there.
It's just my mic's really weird, okay? Oh.
Fair enough. Yes, we can hear you now. Make sure your audio is on sharing. I don't know if everybody does that, so I do say that. Fair one. Okay. Talking to your racer Race Day, been around P3, P4 all day, and just couldn't seem to pass the Astons, could you?
NFL turned himself a new Aston Martin contract, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Just didn't pass his teammate on purpose so he can keep me in a frame. We have the best car, and for like the 5th or 4th time this year, we didn't win again. I'm tired of losing wins in the dumbest way possible. I should have like 2, 3, 4, but instead I only have 1. Like, the game, it costed me the lead because I was like trailing on, I was trying to click on like the race director, but I accidentally clicked 0, and then it just turned me into the gravel, and then I got led by back into like 3rd, 2nd, but I still have kind of earlier on, but I just really couldn't, and after that, yeah, they just he deliberately would not pass his teammates so he could stay ahead and get the win, but again, I really can't be mad considering that we're getting points on Lefty, probably DJ, I don't know what he's been doing this week, but I'm tired of losing, man. I need to get back on form.
All right, you can get back on form next week in Monza. A little fun track there for everybody involved. I don't see DBJ rejoicing in the old Div 1 chat, so I don't think he got a podium. Oh my gosh, I think VTech got a podium. Anyways, Shadow VTech. Move on to Saiyans there. Thank you very much. Race day. Congrats on the P3. Saiyans, a little bit of late drama there between you and late work in passing you on the second to final lap. And did you know that 5 seconds was going to come off after the race? Well, I'm assuming it's going to come off. But did you know that was a BS penalty?
I didn't know at the time. I thought it was like 5 seconds. I'm assuming it was like a speeding, or something. But I didn't know. But I still had intentions to try my best to hold them off. There was no team orders, obviously. But I felt like I did pretty well, but then just tires just slightly were letting at the end, and you got me with the DRS. It's a shame, but it's solid points for Aston Martin. 1-2. We'll take it, obviously.
Fair. Was the strategy tonight soft hards? That's what I heard from some of the other drivers.
Personally, I didn't. I did mediums hards. More comfortable strategy for me.
Yeah.
And I'd say it worked out. It worked out all right. I almost folded in the safety car. You saw my car drive off because I rode the curve very badly.
Yeah, well, fair
and I was
enough.
sneezing.
Yeah. Yeah, I did sneeze once during the broadcast. Happy with that mute button in time, though. So you just did not get ear raped. Congrats on the P2 and a very nice drive from you.
Thank you.
Moving on to our supposed race winner. I believe the penalty I saw was not there. Lucas Bertucci, welcome to the Div 2 stream. And tell me about your race.
Thanks. Race was honestly a lot tougher than I expected. I did pretty well in qualifying, I think, myself. And the race honestly was like once the safety car came out and I was already on the hards, I thought I was going to lose just because there was like 3-4 people ahead. And then I got race day off the restart, which was definitely crucial because he was a rocket down the straight, which is also why I needed to just stay in the DRS with my teammate. Literally the whole race, just saved like 75% ERS to the end, just so I can pass him. But I just needed to stay like behind him because if I passed, I knew we were both going to lose to race day. It would have been like a 2-3 or something. So just did what I could to stay behind. And there was a couple times where he was close to passing, and then I think I just had way more downforce than he did. So I just held it through the corners, but it was definitely an interesting race.
So does that confirm the suspicion that you and Saiyans were not in a party together?
No, we definitely weren't. To be honest with you, I didn't realize it was my teammate in front of me till like 10, 15 laps to go. I was just like focused on staying behind.
And one of those races, you get your head down. Well, congrats on the win. Hopefully, that penalty, 95% sure, will get removed. But congrats to the podium tonight. Anybody you guys want to shout out before I go ahead and wrap up the good old D2 stream? Great. This has been D2. This has been ShellyTheTurtle. I'm usually with Crash McQueen, but not this week. He is in Myrtle Beach. Somewhere over in Seattle or Canada. Vancouver. Something like that. I don't know. We will see you next week in Monza. I believe me and Crash will be in D1. And hey, I'd like to see some of these guys in D2 reserve up next week. Try to get some points for their constructors and their drivers, respectively. Thank you for tuning in, and good night.